In today's video, I'm going to be reacting to a video that was just posted on YouTube by Black Femininity TV, and it's a video on Kidada, and I thought it would be interesting because I never talk about Kidada. And how I heard of Kidada was through Aaliyah. She was Aaliyah's best friend, if you don't know, and that's where I heard her name from. So I thought it'd be interesting to see what Aaliyah's ex-best friend was about or is about. So without further more to say, let's get into it.
Before the likes of Lori Harvey and Angela Simmons, there was an it girl in the 90s named Kidada Jones. A young woman is typically considered an it girl if they're conventionally attractive,
has great sense of fashion,
they're close friends with other Hollywood socialites, and in a lot of cases come from wealthy or...
Now, I wanted to particularly push pause on this part because I think that Kidada looks absolutely beautiful right here, and I just feel like she would have been a very good friend. Like, I know that she's like one of my #1 people who I think has something to do with Aaliyah's death, but set aside all of that, she still seemed like a good best friend to have. Oh my god, you guys are dying. Okay, it's always something. If it's not one thing, it's another. But like I was saying, Kidada just seemed cool. You know, I loved how she dressed. It was kind of on the edgier side, and it's probably why her and Aaliyah got along so well.
Famous parents. And Kidada happens to check off every box. I feel like people often see her in throwback pics or heard about her relationship with Tupac. But do you actually know who Kidada Jones is? From her relationships with legendary rappers to her friendships with young Hollywood celebs, this is the untold truth about...
I've never seen that footage of Aaliyah before. That is so beautiful. Like, just think of all the video footage they're hiding or keeping away from us. Like, why wait every year to release a video, a rare video of her? It's in my video. I can always come back and see this. Thank you.
Kidada Jones. Kidada Ann Jones was born on March 22nd, 1974 in Los Angeles, California. She is the daughter of legendary black record producer Quincy Jones and white actress Peggy Lipton, and also the older sister of actress Rashida Jones. The girls grew up in the wealthy Bel Air neighborhood of Los Angeles.
Rashida Jones was also friends with Aaliyah. They were like just one big girl group. Nowadays, you can't have that. No. Like, I also want to say she has been with a lot of men. Like, I didn't know she was with Usher too. Like, and she's been with Tupac and LL Cool J. Like, she's been with a lot of men.
And in school, Kidada faced racism from her white classmates for being biracial. Meanwhile, life for her younger sister...
She is so beautiful. Like, she has the beautifulest smile. She has dimples. I think that Kidada is very beautiful, and she reminds me of Aaliyah in so many ways. Every time I see her, I'll automatically think of Aaliyah. And when I see pictures of them together, it's just like I feel the warmth within their friendship in the beginning.
Rashida was easier because she was white passing, and not many questioned her racial identity. Peggy's parents were upset that she married and had kids with a black man. They were closer to Rashida since she looked more white. But Kidada says she felt as though her grandparents never really approved of her because she had a little more black genes than Rashida did.
In a Glamour magazine interview, Rashida said,
I had no control over how I looked.
This is my natural hair. These are my natural eyes. I've never tried to be anything that I'm not. Today I feel guilty knowing that because of the way our genes tumbled out, Kidada had to go through pain I didn't have to endure. Loving her so much,
I'm sad that I will never share that experience with her. Kidada had learning disabilities and was held back twice and expelled from...
I did not... Wow. Like, she was... Wow, going through a lot. I wonder if this had anything to do with her being picked on and being darker than her sister. I didn't know she had a learning disorder. I did not know this stuff, but that's just sad she had to endure that, like, just because she was darker.
10 schools for behavioral issues. Peggy finally enrolled her in a school with more black students at her request. In her teens, Kidada and Rashida were featured in Sassy magazine. She may not have been a scholar, but Kidada found her calling with style and fashion. After high school, she enrolled in the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising. Outside of school, she worked as a wardrobe stylist for Vibe magazine, a lifestyle, music, and entertainment magazine founded by her father, Quincy Jones, and producer David Salzman. Designer Tommy Hilfiger was impressed by a cover Kidada styled and invited her to work for his brand. Kidada ended up quitting school a short time after.
I would really like to be a designer. Like, just hearing everything that Kidada went through or is still going through. I'm not sure if she still designs clothes, but it just really motivates me. And I've been really into motivational things lately, quotes and seeing other people and what they've achieved in their lives. Like, I've really been into that, and to hear this, it just makes me even more excited because I'm gonna manifest everything that I want. Which, one, I want to be a designer. I have designs in my head all the time. Like, I don't know why I don't put them down on paper. I would love to be a designer. Just hearing that people loved her designs and Tommy Hilfiger, like, wow, hopefully I become that one day. Someone sees my work and want to collab with me and work with me. Like, that'd be so amazing. So I'm glad I actually clicked on this video because Kidada was getting her grind in. Even if she wasn't in the spotlight like most artists, she was still doing big things behind closed doors.
After, at the age of 19, to work in the publicity department at Tommy Hilfiger. There, she became close friends to Andy Hilfiger, Tommy's younger brother. The preppy brand was looking to target a more younger urban market after rappers started wearing and promoting the brand. Together, Kidada and Andy pitched Tommy the concept of a streetwear line, and Tommy Jeans was the result. Around this time, in 1992, she started dating rapper LL Cool J. LL and his longtime girlfriend Simone were on a break, and they had just welcomed a second baby. She said she got my number from Russell Simmons and had been trying to hook up with me for weeks. She kept calling me, like every other day, and finally, we decided to go out on a date. He and Kidada dated for 2 years before he broke up with her, citing her spiritual beliefs and practices as the cause. In his memoir titled, I Make My Own Rules, LL Cool J said, she would go to an ashram, consult a guru, and pray to statues. Before my album 14 Shots to the Dome dropped, Kidada told me she threw some kind of stick into the eternal fire for my album. I was like, yo, why would you do that? I didn't ask you to do that. That joint flopped crazily. Oh well, I'm sorry I cared, she said. I had hurt her feelings, but she had hurt me too. I know she meant well, but I just couldn't get with that. She took me to her guru once, and I remember kneeling before this strange young woman who was touching feathers. End quote.
That sounds like a bit of witchcraft, praying to statues. That sounds so scary. I don't blame him for looking at her sideways, basically. That's really weird. I'm not gonna even act like I did not hear about this. I did hear about her praying to statues and stuff, but I didn't know she was praying upon his album and stuff like that. Maybe she was praying upon people. Aaliyah, maybe? I don't know, but she is a weird girl. Is that evil? Let me know, because I don't know nothing about that, but it sounds freaky and scary. I'm getting a bad feeling from them just explaining this. Like,
a year after the breakup, he ended up marrying his longtime girlfriend Simone. By the mid-90s, Kidada was wearing many hats at the brand, like styling and talent scouting. She was also chosen to be the face of the Tommy Hilfiger brand and appeared in quite a few campaigns. She helped transform the brand by recruiting popular black figures in music like TLC, Usher, Mary J. Blige, Snoop Dogg, Aaliyah, Destiny's Child, and Michael Jackson.
Wow, that's big. I want to be like her in a way. I can only imagine how much money she was getting from all of this. Like, maybe she wasn't getting that much money, but Michael Jackson, Aaliyah, Usher, like, wow. Like, I'm trying to be that person. I'm trying to design clothes, because that's crazy. Like, she was doing big things. Like, this is things people don't talk about. Like, I just thought that she was Aaliyah's best friend. That's all. I just thought that she was tagging along. She was a spoiled rich little girl and that she wasn't doing anything. Her dad was just Quincy Jones, but no. She was working with greats. She was working with Tommy Hilfiger, styling people. Like, she got Aaliyah included in that, Usher, Michael Jackson. Like, he is the king of music when it comes to women and men. Like, he is the GOAT. But
Neverland. It was amazing. There I was, meeting the king of pop.
hey, she was at Neverland.
Also there, taking in this magical experience where actors
Look at
Michael, Michael's longtime friend and producer Quincy Jones, and Quincy's daughter Kidada.
Just imagine hanging out with Michael Jackson. Oh my god. Like, he is so gorgeous. He had his hair in a ponytail. Like, wow. Like, she got to go to his Neverland and hang out with him. They're just chilling. Like, wow, just chilling alongside Michael Jackson. That is amazing. I really love this video. Although it's just telling us about Kidada. Like, her life was interesting. Why didn't people talk about this? Like, I'm confused. I thought that she was just some girl hanging out with celebrities. No one special. That's crazy. I'm really shocked. Like, I didn't get this far in the video. This is my real reaction. Wow. Like, she was doing big things. I thought that she was just trying to get clout off Aaliyah. I mean, I felt that she was still, like, because she didn't have spotlight like that. But she, behind closed doors, was grinding. Like, wow. She's with Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson. Like, I love Michael Jackson. Oh my god.
Wants Michael on its cover. But Quincy says it took his daughter, Kidada, who's known Michael since she was a kid, to make the deal happen.
He told me out there that he said, I trust Kidada, whatever she recommends, so I'll try it.
You know, he's got nice broad shoulders, he's got a nice height, he's got a nice figure, so clothes look good on him.
Though she posed with Michael for a couple of shots, Kidada was really there to style a shoot. She's the one who got Michael to wear hip-hop looks by Tommy Hilfiger, Diesel, Adidas, and Carl Knei.
That's why he looked like a gangster.
His own style.
Not a gangster, but a real gangster.
Get him into any of these clothes.
He was more than happy to put all of it on.
Really? Yeah. So there wasn't anything that you brought where he said, I'm not wearing that color.
No, he was totally trusting.
He put it in my hands, he trusts me.
And the proof of that is in the pictures. And the magazine is already getting letters from readers who love his new look. But what about Michael? Have you heard what he thinks of this? Have either of you heard?
He loves it, yeah.
He does love it?
Yeah.
Do you like the cover?
Oh, yeah.
Going to Neverland was the trip of a lifetime, but I
This
knew
is
photographic evidence would be needed
motivational.
if anyone was going to believe I was really there.
Oh,
So Michael was
yeah.
kind enough to pose for a final group shot.
Meanwhile, a romance with Kidada.
That whole part was touching. I'm gonna cry. But wow, like my eyes are tearing up. Can you guys see? Oh my god. I would love to be in her shoes. Like, just to know that Michael Jackson loves the way you styled him. He's happy with everything. Like, I would be so intimidated. Like, she was just literally grabbing stuff, like, not even caring. Like, she was just, you know, wow. I did not know she styled this. Like, I always seen these pictures of him in these hip-hop clothes, and I'm just like, wait, Michael dressed like that? But now I see why. Kidada styled him, and I love the looks. Like, she need to come style me, because no, girl, you was killing it. Dang.
And another hip-hop icon was brewing.
I bet you she rubbed off her, you know, styling, her clothing passion on Aaliyah, and that's probably why Aaliyah wanted to make a clothing line, and she was gonna start it with Kidada. It makes sense. Like, wow, I wish I had a friend who would come make clothes with me. Like, we can be best friends. Like, wow. Kidada was doing some stuff, bruh. I'm glad I actually clicked on this video. I'm so absolutely glad. Like, this is so motivational. It just brings my sadness up. Like, it makes me want to just be on the grind, you know? Like, no, can't nobody tell me nothing. I'm on a grind, bruh. Like, wow.
Sometime in 1995,
she met rapper Tupac at a club before one of his sexual assault trials. 2 years prior, in a Source magazine interview, Tupac criticized her father, Quincy Jones, for his relationships with white women and making f***ed up kids, quote unquote. Kidada never responded publicly, but her sister Rashida responded to his interview in a letter published in Source magazine saying, "I cannot view this article or this man without bias, but I do think that anyone who reads this article would be shocked by his ignorance and lack of respect for his people. To demean a man like Quincy Jones, a man who came from the ghetto of Chicago and through his talent and perseverance became a living music legend, demeans the whole progress of African Americans. This artist and his music are in no way, as the article puts it, responsible. He is purely self-absorbed and indulgent. Where the hell would you be if black people like him hadn't paved the way for you to even have the opportunity to express yourself? I don't see you fighting for your race. In my opinion, you're destroying it and all over people," end quote. The second time he and Kidada met, he apologized. They exchanged numbers and began dating, despite him being married to his first wife, Keisha Morris Shakur.
I did not know that Tupac called Quincy Jones out, but I don't know what he mean by messed up children. I don't know, I've never even heard of this before. She turned around and got with the guy that was bashing her dad. Maybe that's what he mean by crazy. I don't know, but I have to disagree with what she said in this magazine, although it was a long time ago. He was for his black people. If you listen to his music, that's all he talks about is black people struggling and, you know, being ignored and the government not doing anything. Like, he was definitely for his black people. I don't know about off of his music and behind closed doors, but I mean, he was definitely for his black people. I could say that. Like, he was loved by his black community and he loved his black community. So I don't know what she's talking about, but let's continue.
Who he had just married that year in April. After their marriage was annulled, Tupac proposed to Kidada. It wasn't long before he introduced her to his mother, Afeni,
I didn't know
saying,
Tupac was
"I
married.
love her. She's going to be my wife. She's going to have my children." Quincy wasn't happy about their relationship and confronted Tupac at a restaurant about his comments, but they were able to settle their differences, and the two became close friends. In 1996, the couple began living together in Calabasas and stayed together until his death a few months later.
I did not know that.
With Tupac in Las Vegas to celebrate his business partner Tracy Daniel Robinson's birthday and to attend.
This is info you never really hear about. I did not know Kidada. I did know she was engaged to him, but I did not know she lived with him. Wow, like that is big information. I did not know that. I did know that they were dating. I did hear that they were engaged and that they were gonna get married. Some people think that that was false, but I don't know. I did hear about it. But I did not know that she lived with him. It's so much I don't know about Kidada. Like, I wish someone would make like a YouTube channel just talking about her, dedicated to Kidada, you know, and talk about her because she has a lot to share. Like, she did a lot back in the day, and I did not know that. That is some crazy stuff. Like, she was living with Tupac. Tupac! Oh my goodness! Like, she was working with greats. Wow. Best friends with Aaliyah. Like, going to stay the night with Aaliyah, waking up to Aaliyah. Like, it don't get better than that, I'm sure. Like, wow.
The Bruce Seldon versus Mike Tyson boxing match at the MGM Grand Hotel, but was back at the hotel when he was shot. She was one of the last people to speak to him before he slipped into a coma and eventually passed away. 3 days later, she had his face tattooed on her arm. In her father's autobiography, she wrote, "Tupac was the love of my life. He and I lived together for 4 months, and then he was murdered in Las Vegas in 1996. It was the most horrible thing that ever happened to me. I knew we should have never gone to Vegas that night. I had a horrible feeling about it. I've gone over it in my mind a million times. It wasn't supposed to happen."
So I was seeing videos about how Kidada was just suspicious regarding Tupac's death and how she was in the hotel that he left from the night he got shot and stuff like that. And then they said that, I don't know how long after it was, but she was seen partying with his ops, or even before. It could have been before, but she was dancing with Biggie in the club, and Tupac and Biggie were going through some things at the time, you know, and a lot of people were like, looking sideways. I don't know, like, she moves in with him for 4 months and then he gets shot. I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Do you think, I don't know. Anyways.
We weren't supposed to be there. It was the worst possible thing that could have happened. I still to this day don't know who shot him. I wasn't able to say goodbye. It's not something that should happen to anyone. End quote. Kidada says she was depressed and numb for 9 months after Tupac's death. She said, "For a while afterward, I didn't want to be alive. I was on my back, literally on my back for months. My father underestimated how that affected me and shaped and molded me as a human being. He came around. Eventually, he realized how it affected me, though I had to really show him." End quote.
I was at a club one night in New York, and he thought I was a shit at Tupac, and he came up to me and he was apologizing about the article you wrote about my parents. And you know, inside I'm just like, oh my god, he is so cute.
Kidada and Tupac soon grow close, much to her dad's dismay.
I remember one night he was
Tupac
like,
was
you can
crying.
do whatever you want, but you will not bring Tupac to my house. That's one rapper you will not be dating.
One night while Kidada and Tupac were at a restaurant, Quincy walked in the door.
Tupac said, I have a few things to talk to you about. And my dad was like, I have a few things to talk to you about too.
He apologized. When he was apologizing, 2 white girls from San Francisco said, hey, Tupac, remember us? You know, he said, oh yeah, I forgot about that.
When I heard that he got shot, and I called my mom to tell her she got on a plane from New York.
That's good that he apologized. That's heartwarming. Like, he didn't have to, but he did.
Immediately. I called my dad. I told him what was going on. He didn't think he was gonna die. He was just like, can't come, you know. Love is with you. Can't come. For 8 or 9 months, I tell you, I could not get a word out. I couldn't leave my house. And then I harbored a lot of anger towards my dad because he wasn't there.
When he really deals with stuff, personally, I think the pain is too much for him. He can't deal with it at the moment. But later on, he does.
I don't know when it was. Some years ago, Kidada's mother passed away. I only think it was a few years ago too. That was unfortunate. I did make a edit of Aaliyah and Kidada's mom. My phone just completely shut off. Like, no, don't do that.
Do you remember that one night when we fell in love? What we had felt so right, 'cause we had trust. Now it's drowning in our lives. I know we're broken up. You know the feelings deep inside. So what's you? What we've been through.